Dorin here. It's Shakespeare Month on our adaptation vlog, and I just have to say that I've had it up to here with adaptations of Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Hamlet, and the Scottish play, Macbeth. This, of course, is not to say that there aren't good adaptations of these. I mean, I'm partial to anything with Kenneth Branagh or David Tennant, but what about the other plays? I mean, thank goodness that about a year ago I got to watch and blog about the stage production of Coriolanus starring Tom Hiddleston. Although apparently there was a modern film adaptation with Ray Fiennes in 2012, but I assume it didn't do very well because I never heard of it. But anyway, now I have a new one. Cymbeline! At first I was excited about an adaptation of a Shakespeare play that I didn't know, blindfolded. But now not so much. Cymbeline is one of Shakespeare's later plays, and it's considered a tragedy, when really it should be categorized as a romance, because everyone isn't dead in the end, but it's surely non-comedic. Shakespeare may have been running out of ideas at this point too, because it has a lot of his old themes. Innocence, jealousy, confused identity, and betrayal, of course, but in a much more convoluted way. So here's the short version of the synopsis. Basically, it's about an ancient British king who has his hands full with his conniving wife, the impending battle with the Romans thanks to his wife, and his impetuous daughter who secretly married a Roman-born man. Of course, that's hardly the half of it. So here's the long version, and try to follow me because it can get a little confusing, and I'm going to do it quick. Imogen, daughter of Cymbeline, who is the ancient British king, is in love with and secretly marries posthumous Leonatus, who is a man that was raised in her father's court, but he is Roman-born. Cymbeline discovers the affair and banishes Posthumus because Imogen is his only child, which means that her husband, this Roman, would then be heir to the British throne. Cymbeline did have two sons originally before Imogen, but Belarius, another character, who was a supposed conspirator to the Romans, stole them 20 years ago as infants and ran off. Cymbeline is actually just a vassal king of Caesar Augustus, and he must pay tribute, but under the influence of his wife, the conniving queen, he has stopped paying, which of course makes the Romans angry. The queen is actually his second wife, who is not Imogen's mother, and she wants her son from a previous marriage, named Cloten, to marry Imogen and be able to be heir to the throne. Then, once the marriage has happened, she will murder both Imogen and Cymbeline to secure Cloten's kingship. She wants to poison them. Sound familiar? But Cornelius, who's the physician, is wise to her malice and gives her a poison that only mimics death. Sound even more familiar? Anyway, Posthumus flees to Italy to the house of his friend Philario, where he meets this other guy, Iachimo, and because Posthumus waxes at length about Imogen's beauty and chastity, Iachimo decides to challenge him to a horrible bet that he can seduce Imogen and bring Posthumus proof of her adultery. And if he wins, I don't understand this part, if he wins, Iachimo will get Imogen's ring from Posthumus' finger. Who the hell cares? If Posthumus wins, not only must Iachimo pay him, but also consent to a sword duel because now his and Imogen's honor have been affronted. Iachimo heads to Britain, where he aggressively attempts to seduce faithful Imogen, who has none of it. But Iachimo lurks where she's sleeping, and is able to gather proof, like a bracelet and see a mole under her breast, and flat out lies when he returns. Posthumus believes him. This sets off a ridiculous set of events, including Imogen taking on the likeness of a male and calling herself Fidel or Fideli, again, super familiar, and Cloten decides that he's going to follow her and do horrible things and take her back and make her his wife. And as you can see, he's losing his head over her, both figuratively and then literally. And everyone else is hoping that they will die because of the circumstances that come about. And they almost do. But in the end, and plug your ears because, spoilers, Cymbeline learns nothing because his sons are returned to him, and he no longer has to worry about a Roman taking the crown. So, Posthumus marries Imogen, who cares, and things still turn out okay. Okay, unplug. There have been stage productions that have revised the original play to cut down on the long list of characters, or rewrite parts that were overdone with numerous revelations and expositions. It's not a bad idea. Some even make Imogen more of an assertive and pivotal character rather than what she is. And I mean, I guess, in the time, what could she do? The 2015 film Cymbeline, which was formerly called Anarchy but is called Cymbeline again, is an American crime tragedy. The film is directed by Michael Almerida and stars Ethan Hawke, Ed Harris, Mila Jovovich, John Leguizamo, and Dakota Johnson. It is a gritty modern adaptation of a take-no-prisoners war between dirty cops and an outlaw biker gang. And now, the drug lord, Cymbeline, played by Ed Harris, is driven to desperate measures. It opened March 13th of this year. I have not yet seen it, but I can honestly say that I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I don't exactly have high hopes for this adaptation. I mean, first of all, it's based on a play that is ridiculous. But I know that that's Shakespeare's thing, you know, like confusion tends to create tragedy or comedy. But with this one, it just like there's so many people and so many things going on. I mean, if they do what some of the stage productions did, which is cut down characters and of course change Imogen's character a little bit because now it's more modern and she can probably have more say, it might turn out okay. I'm just afraid that it's going to be like Sabotage, the film that was supposedly based on an Agatha Christie book, which it was, no. Even though Ethan Hawke recently had Boyhood come out, which of course has a lot of critical acclaim and Oscar buzz, a lot of his other more recent films have just been kind of meh. And he has worked with this director before, which could mean good or bad things. But since his movies haven't been so great, I'm thinking not so good things. Ethan Hawke has been in other modern adaptations of Shakespeare plays. He did one for Hamlet. And if you don't remember it, you're better for it. It was not good. And around that time, late 90s, early 2000s, we had quite a few modern adaptations. One I remember the most would be O, which was based on Othello, and it was awful. It was awful. So modern doesn't always mean better. It will be interesting to see a biker gang of dirty cops rather than Romans and Brits. But I don't know. I just don't have high hopes for it. I have a feeling it's going to be, you know, a lot of action, which is good, but not a lot of plot, even though the plot was already set out for them. In the end, I guess I will just have to see what they do with this mess of a play. You know, I don't really like the play very much, so I guess I could say the adaptation might actually be better. So we will just have to see how it turns out. Until next time, this is Dorin, signing off.